So you need a trading plan. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you one. My name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I'm a day trader, and we're going to talk about how you can use a previous day naked POC for a trade. This is straight out of my own playbook. Did this on Monday of this week. Had 2 naked POC trades, actually. Excellent money printers. Great day overall on my personal as well as all of my prop accounts. So I'm going to show the general TA, why this works. This is a multi-layered analysis of all of the things that I always talk about on this channel. If you are brand new here, please subscribe. Join us in our Discord. We day trade live every single day. 9:30 a.m. to 11 at least, and then sometimes we stay on all day if the market is really giving it to us. But yeah, my passion is helping people learn how to trade and stuff like that. I also just started a podcast called The Macro. The first episode should be out soon. I just filmed the second episode, and in The Macro, I am investing $250 every single week live based off of the stocks that you give me. So I started a thread in my Discord, and I bought every single one of the stocks that people mentioned there. Okay, so if you want to inform and control my portfolio, I'm actually going to do a public portfolio tracker as well. I'm going to start adding that. It's not done yet. It'll be done in the next few weeks. I just need to come up with a simple system to do that, and you guys can see what's there. Obviously, I am going to have some oversight. I'm not going to just waste money, but if it is a stock that I think is a good long-term hold, I will put it there. Nonetheless, let's talk about how to make some money using the previous day POC. Let's get into it. Probably gonna get a phone call in the middle of this, but hey, we'll make it work. All right, so we are now looking at my charts, which look a little bit crazy. We're gonna start on ES, and we're gonna go back to the 4-hour, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna expand this, and then we're gonna zoom out, and then we'll go to the left side of the screen, this drop down, and we're gonna clean up what's on the screen because we don't need all of this noise for now. Okay, you can actually see that I do have an open POC already marked here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back in time. We're actually going to get rid of this marker and this random red dot that's there. I guess I was clicking for some reason and just forgot to stop clicking. And I'm going to turn on the session volume profile. Okay, so let's take 2 minutes to do a quick breakdown of the session volume profile again, because it is going to be core to this video. We can see a few different volume profiles on the screen. We have this one on the right side of the screen, right? I talk about it nearly all the time. It is core to my trading, right? I'm a price action and volume trader. The volume profile shows us volume at a price. What's another way to say that? That means we can see how many people transacted at a price. You notice that this bar is very, very big, right? It doesn't really matter how much it is, but relative to this bar, it's more than twice as big, just eyeballing it. What does that mean? That means that more than twice as many people have interacted at this price of 5,102 and some change, more so than this price of 5,077. Why does that matter? Well, here's a very simple example. This is one that I give to everyone. Let's imagine that you need to sell 100 of something, and you know that there's 99 buyers at a price of 5,103, and there's 1 buyer at a price of 5,077. Where are most of your units going to transact? They're going to transact at this price, right? So if you were to plot the outcomes of your transactions, you wouldn't spend very much time at the price where there aren't very many buyers, and you spend a lot of time at the price where there's a lot of buyers. That's how the volume profile works. Okay, so we care where there's participation. Where there's participation, we're going to hang out. It's a magnet. Where there isn't participation, we're not going to spend a lot of time there. We'll either bounce or fly through it depending on mechanics. It's not always one or the other. So what are some other components of the volume profile? Well, you'll notice, and we'll jump down to the shorter time frames here. Let's go to the 1 hour on ES, and we'll notice that for this session, which starts post settlement, right? So 6 p.m. on the prior day up until the close of today, right? So it's basically 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. is what this session is being marked as. So it includes overnight, regular trading hours. We can see the increase in volume. We have a volume profile for that session, and it's doing that for every single session. So this indicator is called the session volume profile HD. There it is right there. Cool. We have this red line, which is where most of the volume happened in this session. And then we have 2 purple lines, which are the value area high and low. Okay. This is looking at essentially 70% of the volume area. So if you looked at all the volume within this session, 70% of it happened in this area right here. Okay. So we're marking out the area where 70% of the volume happened, or where most of the volume happened. Cool. Whew, we got that down. So now that we know that the red line is called the point of control, right? We call this the point of control. Why it's called that, I actually don't know. That's a good question. I can look that up. But the point of control is just where the most volume was within wherever you're doing your volume profile, okay? It could be the session, it could be across 2 sessions, 2 days. You notice that this one on the right side of the screen, I don't have one drawn. I don't really need it because I can just eyeball it. But the point of control in this case would be here. It's just wherever there's the most, okay? Just based off a statistical drawing of the area. Maybe it's not exactly there, but the point is, if I were to turn it on, we could see it. But this one on the right side of the screen is just doing the volume profile for whatever's on my screen. Okay, that's what that one is. So what we want to do here is go back in time to Friday. Okay, so we're doing replay Friday, 1 hour. And we have to ask ourselves, this is Friday. Okay, get rid of this line. Where do we think the market is going to go to? Okay, so we print another candle, we get this low. This is still Friday, and we want to get to the Sunday session. Okay, so there's a few things happening in this session. We gap up. We see that the POC moved down to 5,005. Okay, so this is our situation on Sunday. So the trade setup here is looking for naked POC. What is a naked POC? And POC, a point of control, again, are these red areas. We're looking for ones that are untested. So a naked POC is an untested POC, an untested point of control. That means the price has not went there in a meaningful way. And I want to talk about this a little bit because something I explained recently in my Discord, how I consider it and how I read these is until we meaningfully leave away from a POC, I don't consider it retested. So there's a little POC right here, right? If we chop around this, I wouldn't call these moves in and out of it a retest of that price because we're still in it. A point of control is an area. It's not a line. It's an area. So we want to move away from the area. And then the first move back to the area is a test. So we have this POC down here, which has not been tested yet. There's a little bit of a gap. We'll move the bars, okay? And so what the thesis here, the 2 naked POCs are this one up here, 5,074, and this one here, 5,006 and some change. So both of these I called out, right? Now, let's just think about the macro. We've been selling off, okay, substantially. There was a new political event. I don't know if I can say the words on YouTube if they're going to delist my videos or whatever, right? But there was some missiles were fired, okay, recently. And we had this unexpected news, which really just allowed the continuation of the downtrend we were already in, okay? But we have a change in structure at the lows. So there's a macro LVN here, a macro low volume node. If we zoom way out, what we're bouncing out of on this area. So you can see here that where it's rejecting is right here in this LVN. Cool. All right. And again, where there's not participation, a low value area, we're likely to bounce. And we did. So now we have a change of structure. Okay. We were doing very, very clear lower lows and lower highs. Very, very clear lower lows and lower highs. But what happened here is we suddenly had a higher low. Now, we need to give this time to print because this could do something like this. Boom, 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 where we still have another lower high, lower low, right? And it basically it's just a fake out of the structure. But this is a change in structure. There's also a ton of volume here in this candle, okay, that we have to be aware of. So at this point, we're looking for a possible turn. So I have a little bit of a long bias, and I'm going to long out of this POC, right? I'm expecting them to retest this, right? What the heck? That was very weird. Okay. I'm expecting them to retest this price area down here. So if we just print some more candles and we can see that eventually we're coming up, right? Overnight, we're coming up, coming down a little bit. And look where we went. The previous day POC almost to the penny, right? So this is a trade that we called out in the server. Just looking for a long close to the previous day POC. This is very, very important. I want you to zoom in, maximize your screen, okay? Like Max, some of you didn't maximize your screen. And I need you to go and maximize your freaking screen right now. Okay, maximize your screen. These are areas. These are price areas, okay? The point of control is where most participation happens in the day. So what do you think when people get close to their prices? If I'm trapped in a position, I need to get out. Am I going to wait to get a perfect exit? No. Once we get close, you know, my loss is getting smaller and smaller. So, hey, people are going to front run these lines all the time. It's not always going to be penny perfect. And so you need to be ready to take action when we get close to these areas, especially when you're trading on the higher time frames like I have been very recently or in general, okay? The expected value on a long from here is like all the way up here, right? So a long from here, I should be looking for a sweep of this price, right? Because I'm basically on the session, if I think that we're going to trend up, right, the next higher high would have to be above this high, right? It has to be, which means if I take a long from here, okay, then my expected value is everything from here sweeping this high at least. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I get in right here, right here, or right here. No, it doesn't matter, right? Because I have all of this upside. It's super duper important to understand that, okay? So that is a good buy. It's a good price. We could plot VWAP. You can see it's under VWAP at the time. Cool. So that's the first naked POC touch. We come up. Holy moly. Look at this POC right here. This fat candle all the way to this naked point of control. And we'll actually do an option J. We can see that that is another POC. Okay, we'll do one down here. For this one that got tested, option J. And the market goes to these two areas where there's a ton of interest. And you'll notice that this point of control here is stacked with the previous day. So we had 2 sessions where most of the volume in the session is very, very close together. And so you have to ask yourself, what are the odds, if you think of the trading like poker, what are the odds that we fly through this? We fly through all of this participation. We're 2 sessions worth of people, right? We have this huge imbalance in here where we came down, right? We finally swept this price. I'm expecting, well, I'm pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant, but I'm expecting a higher high, higher low. Okay. I mean, if I'm looking for another higher high, I mean, that's the higher high right there. So we take that short. Okay. And look at that. The price comes down. Easy play, guys. Easy play. Now, you're not always going to have naked POCs that are that clear, right? Or that you're going to range into so nicely. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when they are there, you take them. So that was the setup on ES. I didn't take these trades on ES. I actually took these trades on NQ because that's how we trade. And I don't mean we as in like the metaphorical we. I mean like myself and Soul, the people in our Discord specifically like to take these trades using ES kind of as the leader and taking them on NQ relatively. So if we go back and look at this on NQ, we'll go to the 1 hour. We're going to do the exact same thing. We'll clean this up a bit. We'll get rid of VWAP, get rid of some of these things. Okay. And actually we want the session volume profile and we'll get rid of this. Okay. So Sunday, the long actually came down to this VAL area here, right, on Monday. So that when ES came down, we had the ability to long out of this price right here, right? So there's a long coming out of here and here's the short. And you can see how the expected value on each of these is a little different, okay? So this was close to another LVN on NQ, which you can see I have marked here at 467 major level. Front ran that a little bit, and there was a long, which we now have a trend line for here. So we took those trades on NQ using ES as the leader, and you can see the long here was 300 points, which was a disgusting trade. That's where I made most of my money on Monday, which is on the long side. Then I cleaned it up a little bit on the short side. Didn't capture that full EV there, but it literally doesn't matter. Something I'll journal and improve on. And just looking at this now live, then I think about it, if we had a strong pullback, where would I look to? What naked POCs, what is on the chart right now that's naked? What is there? What's there? Right here, boom, 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 and right here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so literally Tesla just did earnings, didn't get too much of a move there, got disconnected for some reason. So I would expect POC right here. Again, these are stacked. We literally just talked about this. 2 stacked POCs. We could see a retracement here. We're consolidating into this, so we actually could move through these prices. I'll want to take a look at the bigger volume profile there. But if we do a pullback, right, my pullback areas are going to be areas of extreme interest. Okay, so we could do a pretty strong pullback down to these areas here. That would kind of be a break in structure, in my opinion. But this would be the area that I would look for some type of consolidation. So if we start to chop on the higher, right, go here, and we start to chop on the higher, like something like this, okay, that is going to be the liquidity area that I look for because there's 2 POCs there. It's very, very simple, okay? So let's recap. Let's recap why this works. I'll break it down for you. I gave 2 examples there. But the reason the POC works is because there are people who are participating in the market and the volume profile is showing us exactly where they participated, right? Literally exactly where they participated, which is one of the hardest things to figure out market mechanics. People often look at candlesticks and forget what we're actually representing here. We're actually showing where people are buying and selling, right, in the movements of the auction. And then the volume profile is just another layer of that. We're showing how many people participated in that auction over time. Right, the typical volume on the bottom shows you volume at a time. Volume profile shows you volume over time. Okay, small nuance, but very, very powerful nuance. Enables us to do is say, I need to predict the future, which is what we're doing as traders. We're trying to think about, there's this multi-billion-dollar market that I need to somehow predict how all these people are individually going to make decisions in mass and what's going to happen. It's like, well, it's really not that complicated. We know that there's a ton of people right here. So looking back, and if we think of it as poker, like we're not going to be right every time, which doesn't matter. But what am I going to bet on? What am I literally going to risk? Like, what outcome should I risk on? Well, I should put risk on the most expected outcome, which is that these major liquidity areas and areas where there's no liquidity are the major pivots in the market. That's all it is. We're betting on that, right? And we're doing that across multiple time frames and analysis, okay? So you want to layer in not just a lower time frame volume profile, you also want to look at it on the daily, the weekly, right? The major LVNs, the major targets, and we'll whipsaw and zigzag across all of those as well. So I hope that made sense. If it didn't, shoot me a DM. I'm here to help. Join the Discord, wap.com/tradeedge. My Fun and Futures is still having an April promo, so until the end of the month. I think this video should be out before that's done, so you can check that out. We'll have a link to that as well. And all the other links for all the other prop firms that I use are down below. Great discounts. Purdia, we saw 50% off with Purdia. Apex is doing 80% off all of April. You can use code FORCETRADING for all three of those. Get discounts. I'm going to keep bringing you guys the best deals that I can and helping you on your trading journey along the way. And again, of course, I have to plug my podcast, which I just started. I'm super excited about this, guys. I think long-term investing and personal finance is so important. It's something I haven't talked about because I've been focused on day trading and just doing that. But now that I have some systems in place and things like that, I really want to get back to talking about long-term investing, personal finance, things that are core and critical and I think apply to everyone. Not everybody wants to be rich. Some people just want to be secure. Most of the people that I know actually don't want to be rich. They just want to be secure. And I think it's super important to enable everybody. It's something I'm super passionate about. It's actually why I started this channel in the first place. I wasn't to be a day trader. I actually just fell in love with day trading and I'll always do it. But I do want to show people different paths to financial freedom. And so we're gonna grow that. We're gonna grow that avenue. And I'm excited for all of you to come along on that journey with me publicly together. Cool. All right. See ya.